Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Telling Tales this wonderful Wednesday evening. We're here for Symbaroum as always, and I am Matt, your game master. Hi, how are you doing? Well, I hope. So, before we get on with our regular wee bit of promo, followed by introducing the players, let's bring on our stream manager, John. Hi, John. How are
Hi,
you?
Matt. I'm
Hi.
all right.
Good, good.
I've
I am
got
glad.
a small beast who keeps coming in and playing with a paper bag. So if you hear any of that, tough.
I mean, how we'd hear it when you're mostly off screen, I'm not sure, but it'll be fine, I'm sure. Yeah, John fiddles around in the background, tweaking cameras and art and rules references and modding the chat and all that kind of stuff. So thank you, John. Hopefully, we'll never see you again, and not tonight anyway. Yeah, let's get on with that promo. So, as I say, we are telling tales. There's a bunch of links down below. Links to our YouTube, links to our Twitch. You're watching on one, why not check out the other? Links to our social media, links to our Discord where you can join up and talk to us about all things role playing, all things telling tales, and links to our Patreon where you can support us in return for some extra tasty treats. Things like character creation videos and GM notes and previews and all sorts of stuff. We run 3 weekly series, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the evening, BST. Mondays is Call of Cthulhu, Tuesdays is Blades in the Dark, and Wednesdays is this, Symbaroum. Crazy. We also do monthly one-shots, generally on the first Saturday of every month, although that schedule is going to be wonky for September at least. We've run all sorts of stuff through the year. We've run Alien and Troika and Mortborg and The Expanse and Honey Heist and One Ring and Fiasco, and I think that's everything. And our next one will be on Saturday, September 11th, and that's going to be Dungeon World, which Pierre is going to be running, so that will be good. All the VODs for those are available on our YouTube if you want to go check them out. Yeah, great stuff. So let's start bringing on the players. It's exciting times for us. We've been running Symbaroum for nearly a year now, but we've only really just started running the big, grand Throne of Thorns campaign, starting with this first part, Wrath of the Warden. And yeah, things have got exciting and very combat heavy. Very combat heavy indeed. So let's bring on our first player. And I completely forgot to note down the order they're coming on in, but I can remember it because I'm good at this kind of thing. So our first player is Chris, who plays Steo, curmudgeonly town guard, and spearsman. Yeah, how are you, Chris?
Exhausted, but let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's Symbaroum.
Let's go, gamers.
Yeah, so Thistlehold has been invaded by horrible, gribbly abominations. How did we pick up last week, Chris?
So we were mid kind of post-apocalypse, trudging through the impacted area of Thistlehold, swatting down small parties of abominations and trying to save who we could on our way there. And we came to kind of a large clearing, and a clearing both in terms of the dust and a clearing in terms of the rubble. And we had a moment to catch our breath, but a moment, because behind us we could hear the footsteps of a kind of regimented tromping footsteps. And in front of us we could see that another wave of abominations was approaching. We all kind of didn't have too much time to react, but we kind of scooched off to the side to see what would happen. And from behind us emerged 3 Templar-looking gentle friends, all in kind of swords and shields, if memory serves, kind of very formal thumpet monkeys, but no insignia on their tabards, which we worked out.
The only kind of indication that they were Templars, or at least Templar trained, came from their use of some kind of theurgic mysticism and their very holy war cries.
They lined up next to us and helped us off the next wave, and then kind of, I think some terse looks were exchanged with Elandra, because I believe there might be some history there, at least with one of them. And then they said that they don't care much for the reasons for these abominations. They'll dispatch them all on their own if they have to, and then trumped off in a straight line while we made some decisions about what to do next, slightly more tactically.
Yeah, and you were kind of examining the bodies as well to try and determine what might be the case. And it seems like Anton seems fairly concerned that whatever rituals have been used to fleshcraft these unfortunates have been, well, they have been rituals. It's been intentional. They've been warped on purpose into monstrous soldiers. You then proceeded onwards and found what may be the source of both the enemies and the last unpleasant, horrible noise that resulted in such devastation. And to talk about that, let's bring on Sam. Sam plays Ascarai, a changeling scout and ranger, with a sexy line in cool masks.
Yes,
Sam,
exactly.
what did you guys find?
So we arrived at the place where the fern used to be, hoping to find the woman who had sort of spoken to us before literally everything kicked off. And we found that it had just been absolutely swallowed. The whole area had been swallowed into a sinkhole that had just appeared out of nothing in the middle of Thistlehold. There was a few people around, obviously, just looking at this sinkhole. All we could really see in it was a bunch of rubble, broken buildings, and there was some kind of indications that these creatures had been coming in and out of the sinkhole. I think we heard some people saying that they'd dragged people back into it. And,
yeah, that's right. Dragged them in alive.
Doesn't seem good. And at that point, I think Anton spotted some of the Ordo Magica nearby, people we've been into before, and I think one of the guard, I can't remember his name. What's the name of the guard?
Dirac is the sort of guard sergeant that you've encountered a few times before, who started rallying people to start building a barricade around the sinkhole.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So, talking of these Ordo Magica people, let's bring on Mike, our third player, who plays Anton, Thea Prios, and as you all have had some dealings with the Ordo Magica before, but Anton maybe a bit more than the others due to recent events. Mike, what did you have a chat about?
Unsurprisingly, about this great big bloody sinkhole that had just emerged in front of us. So there were two members of the Ordo Magica there. There was Eufrinda, who had previously sort of been the one who instigated our big journey into Davakar, so we know her fairly well. And then there was another guy as well, who I don't think that we had met. I think he was
and I'm not sure his name was ever mentioned either.
I don't think so either.
But he was kind of an older and very, very, he made Eufrinda seem friendly. So he was pretty grumpy guy, all told.
Yeah, and we kind of talked a little bit about the sinkhole, and they basically said that there are no survivors in there. There's no one will have survived that. And then there was some more events that took place. Something sort of interrupted our conversation.
Absolutely. So let's bring on our final player, Stephen. Stephen plays Elindra, former Templar trainee, and now sort of wandering sellsword and fortune hunter. How did things pan out there, Stephen?
I think Steo and Elindra were helping to construct this barricade. You had Anton talking to the Ordo Magica, considering perhaps getting a rope and going down there and trying to do some kind of rescue or looking to see if there were survivors. It was clear that there weren't survivors, but there was something moving down there. And then I think it's fair to say that all hell broke loose. Just abominations came pouring out of the hole in all directions, attacking us, attacking the townsfolk. We were kind of spread out around different places in the sinkhole, trying to regroup whilst sort of fending these things off.
Absolutely, yes. You, the four of you fighting alongside quite a few town guard, Sergeant Dirac there, the two members of the Order Magica, and the three Templar adjacent brothers still there fighting with you guys as well. And there are more people as more abominations pull from the sinkhole. There are more people you can sense kind of coming in to try and fight them off. Either locals who've got their nerve up, or more town guard. You see probably a couple of kind of novices of the Sun Temple dashing at the back and try and offer people healing as the fight proceeds. So the way we stand in this combat is that at the moment, and I'm sure John will pop up an initiative order for us because it ain't done. Is we have these enemies, these beast clan pouring out of the sinkhole. Steo is kind of mid combat with a large, fearsome one of them with a huge two-handed blade, and they've both kind of wounded each other horribly in the last exchange, including Steo being doused with some acid blood from carving a hole in the thing. Ascarai has shot down anything that's come at him, and a couple that have come at Antom as well. Antom is now facing a single Beast Clan warrior that's only just charged at him, and Alindra is kind of locked in combat with a couple of Beast Clan warriors, and neither side seem to be able to do that much to each other. Kind of the Beast Clan warriors are barely touched, but also Elindra hasn't really taken much damage either. And the place where we are picking up, folks, is that we are, and pardon me 1 second because I'm desperately trying to find my cheat sheet, which is there. We're picking up on Antom's turn because for various reasons we didn't cliffhanger at the end of an initiative round. So Antom, you have a Beast Clan warrior kind of dashing to engage with you now. What are you going to do about it?
I think I'm right in saying that like I didn't have my Blessed Shield activated. I think maybe like the scene had ended.
No, I think you did, didn't you? I think oh no, because Elindra doesn't have the Revenant Strike activated. Yeah, this is a new scene. Yeah, you are absolutely right. I think you did cast it though. I think I said everyone gets one action on.
Okay. Did I fail it maybe? Because I haven't got the permanent corruption note, the temporary corruption noted. But anyway,
I honestly can't remember. Tell us in chat if you can remember.
Okay. Well, how long have I got before I am set upon?
You've got until the Beast Clan warrior turn.
Right. Okay.
We'll need. Sorry, John. We'll need a Beast Clan guardian on there as well for the one fighting Steo. But yeah.
Okay. I will. I will just attack. I will just go for it.
Sure.
I will do some flailing.
So the Beast Clan warriors have a defense of +3, and I can tell you've already done well.
That's a 20.
That's a 20. So start as we mean to go on today. That's absolutely wonderful. And you're going to take a free attack from the Beast Clan warrior as it charges you, Antom. So can you give me a defense roll, please? And that defense roll is, I think it is a -5 for them. Let me just double check their stats. It is at a -5. Yeah.
I mean, I would need to roll a 1, but I haven't done that.
You have not done that. No. In that case, I'm going to need an armor roll for you, please. At which point, see, I thought you had Blessed Shield up.
I will. Well, I don't like in the last session. Would we have like carried over like the effects from the session before that, because they kind of segued pretty much directly from one into the other, right?
When we got to the sinkhole, that was a new scene.
And that was a new scene, yeah.
That was a new scene.
But we're still in that scene.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think that I successfully cast it then, maybe.
Sure. Maybe you didn't. I seem to remember you being able to roll for it, but
yeah,
perhaps not. If you think you didn't, I'm not going to make you have it. So why don't you give me an armor roll, please?
That's 4.
What the armor roll is for?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad then. The Beast Clan Warrior dashes towards you, and with those jagged bone blades on their arms, just scores a line, cuts part of your new robe off, and kind of scores a deep cut on your hip rather, for 2 toughness.
Okay.
Could be a
The
lot worse.
ablative robe back for another season.
Yeah, there we go. So we are back round to the beginning. Askarai, which of these enemies do you want to insta-kill?
I don't think I'm going to insta-kill any of them. They're all a bit tougher than the ones I was doing.
It's true, the basic kind of clan beasts are pretty squishy, but these guys, not so much.
I think I need to pick up my bow, and then I want to shoot it at the one fighting Anton.
You do need to switch to your bow, which means you don't get your double shot, right? So,
yeah.
Very noble of you to mention that. Yeah, so that's a shot at a +3 if you're shooting the one fighting Anton.
Okay. I need 18. I get a 5. Nice.
Okay, so give me that damage roll, please.
So D10 plus 1. I rolled a 10. Plus 1 is 11.
So yes, that is 11, which means that the damage is at that. And what is their pain threshold? Well, if we were using the original rules for pain threshold, you'd have triggered them, but we're not, so you don't. But it is still fairly heftily injured. Your arrow's kind of like sticking out from its ribs, and it gives a wail and kind of smashes the arrow in half with one bone blade, and then seems rather intent on massacring Anton to make up for it. So there we go. There we go. Elindra.
Hello.
Hi.
So it's the Beast Clan warriors that I'm up against.
2 Beast Clan warriors, one of which is slightly injured. But
right. Yes, I seem to recall that I was operating a queue system.
Yes.
So I will attack the one that is slightly injured.
The one that is slightly injured. Cool. Why don't you give me an attack roll at a +3 then, please?
Ooh, I need 18. I got a 6, so that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. In that case, give me your damage roll.
That's just a D12 because we don't have that turned on. That's a 12.
Oh, that's pretty good. Is that a 12 on a D12?
That's a 12 on a D12.
Very nice. Before we calculate that, I would just say, John just checked the old VOD, and Mike did have Blessed Shield cast. So before we forget, do you want to roll that additional armor there, Mike, and see if you take any damage from that blow at all?
I'm one step ahead. I was going to bring it up next turn. Yeah, I've rolled a 4.
Right, so no damage, undamaged. Lovely.
Also,
wonderful.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. There we go. John, earning his keep tonight. Yeah. So, a 12. That is over their pain threshold for sure. Do you want to knock them prone, or do you want to get another free attack on them?
I think we want to go for a free attack because I think we need to get this.
We need to start finishing them down. Yeah. In that case, that's just another straight up attack at a +3, please, Steve.
Right, the attack. That's another 6 for the attack.
Wonderful, and the damage?
That's a 4 this time.
A 4. Sadly, that does not penetrate their armor. So the Beast Clan warriors, kind of smelling blood in the water, they barrage together towards you. You with your training, you're trained in how to defend against multiple opponents at once. You sidestep one and draw cut along the other and open it up, most of its chest and its torso. Horrible bubbling bits of whatever is inside of it are hanging out, but it doesn't seem, if this was a man, they'd have dropped to the ground howling. This thing just wants to hurt you with whatever bits of its fetid life it has left, and it wheels around towards you, looking even more animalistic. These are the ones who look slightly more human, but now this one's completely devolved, and comes at you, and you try and cut at it again, but to no avail. So we're on to the Beast Clan Warriors. And since we're talking about the ones attacking Alindra, let's talk about the ones attacking Alindra. Can you give me a defense roll, please, at a -5?
Defense. That's quick, right? Sorry.
It will be quick, potentially adjusted by things. You should have a defense roll stat somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it. -5, so I need to get a 8. That's a 9.
There we go. That's an armor roll then, please.
Okie dokie. 5.
Okay. Again, these things only seem to be giving you kind of death by 1,000 cuts, and you're left with another slight scrape on your forearm for 1 toughness.
Okay.
And then we need your second defense roll, please. Again at a -5.
That's a 5, so that's a success.
That's a success. Yeah, the other one. Let's say that was the one that's coming for you kind of rapidly as it feels its life ebbing away. The other one is still being a bit more cautious and manages to avoid your strike. So we're on to the one attacking Anton. Anton, give me a defense roll at -5, please.
Oh, 4. I needed 1.
In that case, give me your armor roll then. Your armor and your blessed shield.
3.
Okay. This time it does manage to get through your defenses, but only slightly, and leaves you kind of like with a painful cut on the palm of one hand as you try and kind of brace your flail to block it. But that's only 1 toughness, but it does hurt quite considerably. Steo, you are fighting the Beast Clan Guardian. The Beast Clan Guardian's defense is a flat 0. So it's just a regular old roll to hit. I'm assuming you're trying to hit it, so you know.
Yeah. God. 7 health points left, and I've got acid to get at the end of this round, so.
Yep. But you will get an armor roll against that as well, so.
Okay, here we go. I think it's less. Sorry, what was the minus again?
It's flat, completely flat.
I was checking my equipment list to see if I had some kind of monster be gone fluid, but I do not. I rolled a 10, which is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. And what's the damage on that bad boy?
D10 plus 1. That's 9 in total.
9 in total. Oh, that, my friend, is what they call perfect. So the Beast Clan Guardian, kind of smelling. I've already used the smelling blood in the water thing. Seeing you, kind of terrified and in pain at the splash of its own Icarus blood onto your armor, the hiss and kind of the vague panic in your eyes. It thinks it's got you on the ropes, but really you're probably mainly concerned about the damage to the plate armor that you've spent so long earning the money for. And it dashes towards you with a roar. Again, the Beast Clan Guardian, even more human than the others, towering over them, but without those bone blades, and it's just got vague protuberances on its forehead and kind of wrinkly, scaly flesh. And as it comes towards you, roaring, it's not the way to attack someone who's good with a spear. You duck down, slip the haft of the spear between its legs. It stumbles and starts to kind of fall past you. You spin round, and with one thrust into the base of its back, it wriggles on the floor for a while and then falls still. John, you can go ahead and take the Beast Clan Guardians away from from our order there. Lovely. Right, we're back around with Anton.
Oh, acid. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, acid. Roll your armor, please.
Flat, I hope.
Yeah.
Oh, natural 1. Do I get a free attack against the acid? The concept of acid.
Sadly, you do not. But the acid does penetrate your armor and deal you 2 toughness on your shoulder.
Really? That's a natural 1 on defense.
It's not defense; it's armor.
Oh, sorry. Then in that case, I shouldn't be rolling a d20.
Oh, okay. Then. Yeah. You're not defending against the acid. Aha! 4. In that case, the acid does not penetrate your armor, and you're fine. But you'll need to roll again next turn, but that'll be the last one. So, Anton, what are you doing?
Well, I'm
What are
really
you
enjoying that sequence of events between you and Steo there.
Yeah.
But no, I'll flail and attack this guy, I think.
Sure, absolutely. So that's an attack at a +3, please.
Well, I rolled a 1. So on my attack roll, 20
Nice.
or 1 for me tonight.
Time for Steo to be the flail master again.
He's going to do a wolfing. Someone's going to get wolfed.
Someone's
Getting
going to
the
get
wolf
underwolfed.
treatment.
So that's a +1d6 on the damage roll there. Looking forward to this damage roll of 2.
13.
That's not 2. Yeah. The Beast Clan warrior facing you, kind of distracted by the half arrow still sticking in its side, thinks it has this weak priest of Ambria on the back foot, and sort of comes at you, slashing ravenously. You take a step back and kind of do a kind of backwards overhead swing, where you just kind of like reel the flail around your head and then swing it back and up, and the male balls. I'm sorry, the metal balls. Oh no. That's going to get clipped. The metal balls swing round and up. Chris can't even handle this. Swing round and up, and with a crack, you split its skull open, and all the male balls fall out onto the floor. It's dead. It's dead.
Visceral description of what happens.
It's
Thank you.
it's what I do best.
I
Good.
mean, it was a veritable buffet of description.
We can do it. Come on.
Years from now, Mike will be reminding me of that. I hope you are all aware of that. Know that. Good. So from one, I was going to say from one embarrassment to another, but Sam doesn't deserve that.
God.
So, I mean, Anton, you actually have a movement action left if you want it.
Oh yeah, I do. That's kind of it though, right? That's like all of the enemies around us.
Or Stephen.
Well, no, but we're on the other side, I think, right? Me and
you can move. You can move through the general melee though. Like I'd say, you can get to helping Alindra with one movement.
Yeah, so I will obviously do that. Now I know
sure.
that's an option. Yeah,
sure. Who's embarrassed now, Mike? Huh? Anton dashes. You make your way through the melee. You get the sense, by the way, that the melee seems to be going quite well for the inhabitants of the town. The city guards seem to be holding. You can hear kind of shrieks and kind of the sounds of kind of rushing fire and cracking stone from behind you, where the Ordo Magica are fighting. And across the other side of the sinkhole, stop laughing. Across the other side of the sinkhole, you can see like sun flare like glinting, where the three brothers are still struggling. Pretty atmospheric, right? Definitely not.
I was doing fine, and then I read Sam's comment in the Twitch chat, and now I just got all over again.
Sam. For our viewers on YouTube, Sam's comment is, for my movement, I'd like to teabag him. So there we go. Why? Oh, that is the worst. It's the worst.
Sorry about that.
Apparently, we got a follow though since we did that. So, which has taken us live to 300 followers. So, who's laughing now? Yeah, bet we're pretty glad about male balls now, aren't we?
I think we finally found our audience.
finally found our fucking level. That's what we've done. Thank you. Pronouncing this, I'm gonna try and get it right. Fiacra too. That's my uneducated stab at that. So
It's an Irish name. It's Fiacra.
Faker, I thought it might be Irish, which is why I was hesitant to embarrass myself. Faker Kerry too. Thank you very much. So, background to the beginning. Ascarai. You can definitely shoot at Elindra's assailants from where you are.
Okay, then I'll definitely do that. Seems the best.
One of them seems to be kind of like stumbling around on its last legs with half its insides hanging out, and the other one seems to be hale and hearty.
Ascarai is going to glory hunt and try to kill the one that's almost dead already.
Sure.
Okay. So these are a +3, is that right?
They are at a +3, that's correct.
Okay, I rolled a 5, which hits. And for damage, I rolled a 1 + 1 is 2.
Well, unsurprisingly, that ain't enough. Your arrow sort of skids off its scaly, tough back, and the leather, kind of patchy leather armor it's still wearing, and disappears somewhere into the rubble and the various people battling around nearby. Second shot at it.
Yep. I roll a 2. Yummy. And for damage, I rolled a 3 + 1 is 4.
Again, exactly the same result again. Hey, like I said, from one embarrassment to another. So yeah, your 2 arrows vanish, spinning off into the melee to no effect. Elindra.
Hello. We got to finish this guy off, haven't we? Really?
I think so. It's an attack at a +3.
Yeah, it's a success.
And the damage?
Damage 10.
10.
Nice.
Again, it kind of wheels around and comes for you, not knowing when it's finished. You step to one side and backdraw your sword across, kind of meeting the gaze of the other one as it spins towards you, as the one you just struck's head tumbles off its shoulders and kind of skitters along the floor and vanishes down into the sinkhole. It gives a couple more flailing strikes and then collapses. Its decapitated form next to you.
Cool. So
exciting.
If it's just me and like one Beast Clan warrior left,
It is.
I don't know how, if you're toe to toe with somebody, whether it's possible to do any kind of flanking maneuver, or if there's anywhere that I can kind of move.
If you're engaged, you definitely can't kind of move around.
We're here right now. Okay.
Yeah. But and it has an attack on you, which it's going to take. So defense at -5, please.
Yep, success. Needed an 8, got a 6.
Fantastic. Clearly, the thing, with whatever rudimentary intelligence it has left, is somewhat intimidated by the fact that you just lopped the head off its fellow, and it strikes eventually. But you did it, and the group is in a lot better place than it was at the end of last session. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
It fails and it strikes on you. Steo, I'm assuming we're going to flank this final remaining Beast Clan warrior.
Yeah, I believe that's a good move.
That is indeed a good move. So why don't you give me a flank strike, please? Which is... So that'll be a +5.
Oh my god.
And you'll get an extra D4 on the damage if you hit.
Yeah, it's 20s or bust. It's a 7.
Cool. So damage with an extra D4, please.
+1 because of the fancy spear. That's 8 + 1 is 9. 10, 11, 12 in total.
12 in total. That is number Wang. So that is a pain threshold moment. So do you want an extra attack or to knock it prone?
Do I want to steal the kill? I think I'll steal the kill.
Sure. Why don't you give me another attack then, please? And you'll be flanking again, so it's a hit. It's just whether not quite a crit on a 2 there. And damage with a D4 again, please.
6 + 1 is 7, + 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, that is number 1.
Yeah, okay. So we can remove the initiative now, John. Thank you. So, Elindra, as you square up to this thing, kind of you've seen a couple of arrows fly across and kind of idly wondered whether they were from Ascarai. And as the thing kind of braces to charge you, as some of its fellows are sort of falling, other fellows falling around it. The town guard seem to be getting the other hand. It takes a step towards you, and then the tip of an ancient but incredibly well-crafted bronze spear emerges from out of its throat, and it gives a gurgling cry and crashes to the ground, with Steo standing behind it. Yes, the combat is over, folks. So there was actually another enemy spawning on this round, but it was literally one clan beast, and it's like there's no point doing that. You'll massacre it. So the enemy force, all of these abominations seem to be fairly beaten and are being driven back into the sinkhole. The town guard is giving out kind of cries of triumph, and a few of them, spurred on by Dirac, are kind of very swiftly returning to their work of trying to build up a barricade around the rim of the sinkhole, and it very swiftly progresses into kind of people carrying barrels and bringing confiscated wagons through, and furniture that remains from the surrounding houses. Kind of work is progressing at a very swift pace, seen over again by Dirac and by the members of the Order Magica. But all that's being said, do you guys want to reunite a second and have any discussion you want to have, or take any actions you want to do?
I want to heal. Although I think that we're still on the same day as when I did Medicus rolls last time. So maybe I don't know if I can.
I think the rule that we have established, right, is that everyone can do one Medicus roll on an individual person per day. So so you could still roll, I think, to try and heal anyone else who's been.
I think did I roll for myself and Steo last time.
I don't think you rolled for Steo. I think it was just Steo and you rolling for you, wasn't it?
That's maybe right. Yeah,
sounds right.
Yeah. Okay.
So Steo and you can roll for anyone else who's been hurt, including Steo. So why don't we do that? So let's do Steo. I'm assuming that you, because you're quite badly hurt, right? So why don't we start with Steo's roll on himself? Does that make sense?
Yep, I will burn another poultice on this, and I'm aiming for less than 11. I got an 18.
There we go. And Tom, do you have to decide whether you use the poultice? Like, it makes sense to me that you will only choose to use the poultice after you succeed. I think that's
yeah.
It affects the roll after the.
It's the roll for how much you heal, not. Yeah. I think I'm happy with that. You don't have to burn it if you fail. I think that's fine. And Tom,
I needed 11. I rolled 3, so that's all good. Excellent. And we'll use the herbal cure. So I think that makes it a D6 rather than a D4.
That's correct.
And 5.
Pretty good. Steo's kind of main. Steo is spattered head to foot with this, not hissing anymore, but virulent, horrible ichor. But there's definitely, I think you were just wounded by its blade, though, right? Like it did kind of slice into your side, I think. At one point.
I got pretty badly. I got pain thresholded.
Yeah, so Anton, that's kind of what you're dealing with, is a large cut on Steo's already scarred sides. Many of those scars, decades old now. Do we have any? Is anyone got? Ascarai, I don't think got hurt, but Elindra has some wounds. If we want to,
I'm reasonably beat up. Do we have anybody with the? Is it once per character per day you can attempt it on, or?
Yeah, that's what we kind of informally did. So you haven't had attention from Steel or Anton today, so you can. Who wants to start? Because if one person rolls good, then we might want to save the next one. I think, because I don't think Elindra's that hurt, right?
It's relative. Like, she's quite tough, but
sure.
She's also taken a bit of a beating there.
Sure. Well, why don't we go with Anton then? Mike looks like he's looking at things already.
Sure, I can do that. It just missed. Sorry, I rolled 12 and I needed 11.
Okay, Steer, do you want to give it a go?
Well, yeah, let your old pal Steo take a look. Again, need less than 11. Got a 4. Can you quantify how badly hurt you are? Say in a scale of 1 to your maximum toughness.
How badly hurt I am?
Yeah, how many toughness do you have to heal up?
8.
Okay, definitely.
I think
worth
that's
using
going to be
a
a
poultice then.
Oof, 3. Better than nothing.
Yep.
Better than 2, better than 1, and 3 better than nothing.
So we're going up by 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you take a look at Alindra. It's difficult to patch Alindra up because it's a lot of small cuts. Yeah, but as you are doing this, presumably maybe leaning against one of the kind of purloined wagons that are being used to barricade sides of the sinkhole, is there any kind of conversation that's happening, or with you, or attempted with others?
I think while Steo's patching me up, I will say, thank you back there for spearing that thing.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm spear for.
I see what you did there.
Did we find? I suppose we can't find anything out about them. Are you okay, Anton? You look like you took a bait in there.
Yeah, I'm hurt pretty bad. I need to be a little bit careful from now on. I spent so long thinking about getting back to the safety of Thistlehold that I forgot that Thistlehold isn't that safe.
Too close to the forest.
Did we learn anything? What are they? Where are they from?
I think that they are designed in a way. Their flesh, it looks unnatural but purposeful in how it's constructed around them. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And they called out for their leader, I guess, to Helianor and Halaban. So
did we? I don't know if I know we mentioned Halaban and we talked about who Halaban was.
Yeah.
Did we establish that everyone is aware of? I can't remember if we had to just do Lawmaster stuff or whatever, or whether we just went common knowledge.
I know you explained it to Mike. I was about to ask, is this reasonably common knowledge? I mean, it's sort of part of the story of how Ambria was.
Yeah, it is. I think like a cunning roll. Like if you get a cunning roll, I think like Anton will know more details about it, but like just rolling cunning, I think you can get that. Like Halaban was a famous barbarian leader, something like that would be fine. Or we can just have Anton explain it now. And again, you have no idea who Helianor is, but Halaban, you do.
Yeah, so whatever they are, this isn't good, and it appears that they're capturing more people to create more of them, trying to drag people off alive into that sinkhole. So I'm pretty concerned about what we've just seen.
Is anyone, as this conversation is going on, I feel like Alindra and Anton are definitely the focus of it. Steo and Askarai, are you guys kind of talking or talking to anyone else or doing anything in particular? You can say no, of course. You can just be standing there like. Ugh.
I think I'll be a little bit deflated at the minute because I've taken a baiting, so I'll be.
Askarai's probably picking up arrows. Got a few to pick up, hopefully. He might look to see if the Auto Magica people are still here.
They are indeed still there, and Euphrinda is kind of like talking in quite a enthusiastic and impassioned way to Dirac, who's kind of directing the barricades, and she seems to be kind of like it's essentially advising him on the best way to do it, which he seems to be tolerating. But who knows exactly what the tone of their conversation is. The other one, you can see, has returned to his examinations of one of the Beast Clan on the ground. He's examining one of the Guardians, the large, more humanoid ones, the one that was fighting Steo, with seemingly some interest.
I think maybe I'd go and talk to him, and just say, well, now you've seen them in action, what could make something like this?
He kind of looks up and peers at you slightly. Let's get the image of him back up, for that matter. The Ordo Magica who isn't you, Frinda, please, John. He looks up with his kind of wizened but still somewhat not youthful but definitely energetic face, and says, well, what do you think they are?
Our priest thinks they're some kind of created monster made from humans, but what kind of magic is that?
Well, I typically do think of Theurgs as slightly weak-minded fools, but in this case, your friend is correct. This has been flesh-crafted. As for why, speaking of fools, it would be foolish to speculate. We need to, and he glances over at the sinkhole, investigate.
Seems very dangerous.
But let us wait and see if there is another assault first, no?
I certainly don't think anyone will be volunteering to go down right now. Do you know who Helianor is?
He says that, and as he does so, away from the sinkhole, back where Steo and Antom and Alindra are, there is a street leading back into kind of the mass of wrecked buildings, the ones that didn't collapse with the sinkhole but have kind of like mostly tumbled down, although a couple of them are still standing, and dust is kind of still swirling somewhat around those buildings. And there is an eruption of panic screams coming from that street on the defender's side of the barricade completely, and a number of residents are seen kind of scattering and running from over there. Askarai, you can't see that too clearly from where you are, but Anton, Elindra, and Steo, you can. Dirac kind of starts striding towards it, and as he does, he points at a couple of sort of not squads or regiment kind of because the guard doesn't work like that, but kind of groups of guardsmen and women kind of like stood near you guys, and just goes, off, go see what it is. And then he kind of sees Steo standing there and says, what are you fucking looking at me for? Go with them. Make sure they don't fuck up.
Oh, bloody hell, I'm not paid enough for this. Tom, Askarai, Elendra.
I'm here. Let's go.
Already starting to barrel down, clearly limping and not in the best of health towards whatever awaits us.
Absolutely. What does await you? You emerge into a street, kind of quite a wide street, where there seem to be people struggling once again with the Beast Clan rampaging around. You see some kind of residents of the area desperately trying to get away. You see clan beasts that seem to be pouring from an intact building in the streets, and kind of even from this perspective, because it's kind of half collapsed, you can see that they seem to be pouring up through some kind of steps leading down to a cellar. And in the middle of the street, you see possibly the most kind of encouraging thing happening in this horrible vista. You're not alone here. Kind of other kind of town guards are kind of dashing along with you. But in the middle of the street, we have an image of what you see which if John could bring it up, and I'm assuming he knows what I mean because there's only one image we haven't used. So here we go, and this will be nice for two of you who've been in another Symbaroum game that we've run. So John, if you can bring that up for us, please. That gentleman on the right, I don't suppose anyone out of Chris and Sam would like to guess who that is?
Serix Atia.
It is indeed Serix Atio, the notorious member of Mother Mahira's agency, known for his drunkenness, his bloodthirst, and his capabilities with a huge sword in a state of either. And he is stood in the middle of the street, hacking left and right, carving down Beast Clan with every single stroke of his blade. But before you have any time, I'd say those of you who've been in Thistlehold for longer than, probably not Alindra so much, although you've almost certainly seen him at Mother Mahira's agency. But I'd imagine that Steo, Asker, and Anton have probably at least shared words with him at some point, especially Steo. He's not an easy man to converse with or get on with particularly, but anyone who's been in Thistlehold, and especially the agency for long, will have had some interaction with Serix Atio. But you don't have time for that now because the clan beasts pouring forwards from the cellar are coming straight for you. Can we have initiative up just with clan beasts, please, John? But you have, I am afraid to say, wonderful players. You have 8 clan beasts coming for you, which are the weaker ones. But here we go. And I'm going to do what I did before, which is I am just going to roll to see which of you they're coming for. And I'm also going to cap that at 3, because I think we said that there's a maximum of 3 that can engage with a person at any one time. So if you get to 3, don't worry, you're not going to get 4. So there we go. So the first one is going to be coming at Steo. So that's 1 there, which is good news for Steo because he's kind of can hold them off for a bit, or try to. The next one is coming for Alindra. The third one for Alindra. The fourth one for Askarai. Fifth one for Alindra. Alindra is now full up. Sixth one for... oh, no, I need to roll another die now. Sixth one for Anton. Seventh one for Anton. Eighth one for Anton. So we've got 3 coming for Alindra, 3 coming for Anton, and 1 for each of the other 2. I am perfectly happy for you guys to get an action in before what happens. I would say that this is another scene. So you can wipe your corruption, and you can any effects they're carrying over. Oh, Stephen, you definitely need to pull that mic up, mate. That's great, thank you. So what are we doing? And I'm basically just anticipating that Askarai is going to shoot, Alindra is going to use Revenant Strike, and Anton is going to cast something. And Steo's just going to look tough.
That sounds like good assumptions, right?
Yeah. Fairly good assumptions. Well, why don't we start with Askarai then? Which one of them are you going to shoot at? And I'm probably going to say, if it's a combat action that you're getting, it doesn't make sense that you can't use your double fire, because that is what that is, right? So if you're not going to move,
the double fire uses up my movement action as well. So I don't know.
I'm not giving you a movement action. So yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you. That's very considerate of you. So why don't you? Are you firing at the one charging at you?
I think. Yeah, I think I will. I'm tempted to go for the one for Anton, but I think if I'm able to shoot, that will be more help to Anton than anything.
This is very true. All right then. Well, why don't you take a shot? It's a shot at +5, so you can't miss. But let's see if you're correct.
I rolled a 19, so
Whoa.
happy about that +5.
Yeah. So yeah, roll that damage for me, please.
So D10. I rolled an 8 + 1, 9.
So that's a 9. Did you say?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's definitely over its pain threshold. Prone or free attack?
Free attack.
Yeah. Give me another. I mean, you'll hit it, right? So I
Yeah.
think this is pretty guaranteed.
For damage, I roll a 4 + 1 is 5.
Yeah. The one charging Ascarai kind of, it starts to stumble as it comes forward, and the others of you maybe didn't even register Ascarai firing his bow, but as it tumbles to the ground and kind of crumples at Ascarai's feet, you can see 2 arrows protruding from its chest. Elindra, can you give me a resolute roll to use your Revenant strike, please?
Yes, resolute. That's a 3. So I was trying to get less than 11. So I guess that's good, right?
Yep, absolutely. In that case, can you roll a d4 for temporary corruption, please?
Sure thing. 4.
Okay. Well, since we're using the new threshold rules, the errated rules, like you're still probably a ways off your corruption threshold, so it should be good.
Not that big away, but yes.
But you don't have anything else to cast anyway, do you? So it's
yeah. I don't think I'll be doing any witch sight this scene.
no. Oh yeah, you've got witch sight as well. Yeah. Anton, what are you casting? Blessed Shield or Holy Aura?
I think I might
these
try.
clan beasts are abominations.
Yeah. I think I'm going to cast Holy Aura because it's going to heal everyone, and it just does an insane amount of damage to them as well.
It really does.
So let's go for some of that. Yeah, I make it. I rolled a 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much damage does it do to abominations per round?
So it does 1d8 of damage to abominations, and that ignores armor as well. And then it heals living creatures 1d4 per turn.
Okay. I'm not gonna have that. I guess I gave Ascarai the damage for attacking on the turn.
I've got 3 of them attacking me.
Sure. Yeah.
It might be nice.
All right.
To...
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, what's the range on it? Does it say anything about? Is it just everything nearby? You're on mute, by the way.
I've got to be within sight of them.
All right. Okay. Well, you're definitely in sight of all these things. So let's start off. Can you give me, and read them out slowly, please, Mike? Can you roll that? What was it? A D8? Can you roll a D8 7 times for me, please?
Okay. 4.
Yep.
2.
Yep.
7. 8.
Yep.
1.
Yep.
2. And 7.
Okay. So, as the wave of clan beasts kind of howls and gurgles and bounds towards you all, partly on 2 feet, partly on kind of 4, kind of digging their bone claws into the ground to bring themselves forward, Anton, describe to us how you bring about the Holy Aura, because I think it's been a while since you cast it.
Yeah, it really has been a while. So this is something that requires a holy symbol. So I imagine that Anton is clasping maybe the sort of sun brooch that's pinned to his robe, and not closing his eyes in concentration, but actively looking at what he's trying to do, but maybe kind of, arms outstretched a little bit, sort of like taking the power from the sun almost before he radiates it out. Just letting the power of Prios flow through him, really. You're on mute.
Sorry. As they charge forward, they seem to almost pass through a kind of glinting, the effect we described for his blessed shield of almost like a sun glare or something, like a sun dog effect. And they just pass through almost this field at the same time. And at first just give off kind of like odd sparkling glints before their flesh starts to bubble and flare and steam in the radiant energy of Prios that Anton is emanating. And also, while that's happening, anyone who's injured, go ahead and roll a d4 and just recover that much toughness. Now, I believe that the Holy Aura, 3, and so 4, nice. So yeah, you feel yourselves reinvigorated, and I'm going to say, because you believe in the will of Prios, perhaps for you guys it's as much psychosomatic as it is the actual thing. You feel kind of you feel Prios's eyes on you through the will and power of his servant Anton. This is the moment that Anton's been waiting for, I'll tell you that. That is a huge, colossal amount of damage right there in one go. And as long as Anton rolls his Resolute again on his next turn, it's going to happen again. I believe also, which is maybe the more reason it might not be there next turn, is that I believe it has a concentration element, right?
Yeah.
So every time you're hit, you also have to roll Resolute modified by the amount of damage you've taken.
I think that's right, yeah.
So you could be facing 4 rolls before it activates against next turn, depending on what happens. But we'll see. It's real powerful, though, huh? So let's have some actions. Askarai, you now get to actually go as well. So all of the creatures coming towards you all seem to have been damaged and wounded by Antom's prayer. The one that definitely looks the worst for wear is the one tumbling towards Steo, which is kind of like sort of, stumbling and flailing and gurgling as steam comes out of its mouth. But otherwise, it's kind of a mass of them.
I think I'd shoot the ones going for Anton, since he mentioned he was hurt and wanted to be careful. So I think
Sure.
I'd try and...
I don't think you can tell of those which ones of them is most injured, so I'll just roll a die to see which one you hit. But why don't you fire an arrow?
Cool.
And it's they're a +5. All these guys, they're super easy to hit. They're just screaming, flailing, insane, monstrous abominations. They're not attempting to defend themselves in the slightest.
Nice. I rolled 6 + 1, 7 damage.
Okay, and that's going to apply to that one. Okay. Your arrow transfixes one of them in the neck, kind of goes in one side and comes out the other, but clearly too far back to have hit the windpipe, and it's still coming forward with its head kind of lolling oddly and blood gushing from its mouth. Blood that, along with the steam from the cooking of its insides that Anton is doing, is producing really the worst imaginable smell. So, you get another shot, right? Unless you want to use your movement.
I will shoot at that one again, try and finish it off. Rolled a 19 again, but luckily still hitting. And 8 + 1, 9 damage.
Yeah, your next arrow, the neck didn't work, so you aim about 6 inches higher. And it just transfixes the beast through its head, and it tumbles to the ground dead. That's Askarai's turn. Elindra. Got 3 of them coming at you, and they all look fairly burnt, but they're all on their feet.
Okay. I guess if there's no particular criteria to choose between them, then it's whichever one's going to get to me first.
I'll just use a random roll for it. So yeah, it's a strike at a +5. So again, you can't miss. It's just whether you end up getting an attack and return or
that's a hit. Yeah.
Not a 1 or a 20, right?
No, that was a 3.
Cool. Roll your damage, please.
5.
So that's going to be, because that's without the Revenant Strike, right?
No, that's with the Revenant Strike.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you did engage the Revenant Strike.
Yes, I did.
We didn't talk about that actually. How does Elindra bring the Revenant Strike about? So it's a flaming sword, but how do you just close your eyes and will it? Do you run your hand along the blade? Do you? How does this happen?
I think we said before. So the sword itself is kind of slightly unusual looking anyway, and kind of not some. I don't know. There. It kind of looks and feels wrong, and I think I think we had her just activate it with no kind of particular words or rituals, but just a sort of a
Sure.
wordless howl of
just a
fear and
cry of
rage.
and it erupts in that dark kind of, I think, a kind of purplish black flame. And as it does so, you charge forward to engage the ones coming at you. As you charge, you give one great strike and cleave one of them through. So their kind of entire arm and shoulder comes off in a horrible welter of blood and bone. And the pieces of what was the clan beast flop to the ground. Yep, that's a kill. If you couldn't tell. So let's start with the two now coming to attack you. Do you want to roll me a defense, please? And it's a defense at, they're definitely not as good at fighting. A defense at a -1, please.
A -1. Okay. Oh, that's a fail.
Okay, and then give me an armor roll.
Let's see now. 3.
Okay, so one of the remaining clan beasts comes at you and swipes in with its bone, the kind of those claw-like, blade-like protrusions on its arms, and it's most of them kind of slice across you. This one impacts, goes straight through your mail, and kind of pins. Goes straight into your upper arm, punches in and draws out, and you feel that unpleasant sensation of bits of you that should be inside coming out and kind of running down the mail you're wearing. Take a 3 toughness, please.
Ouchie.
And then give me a defense roll for the next one at -1.
Give me a second. Good thing. Defense at -1. Ah, that's another fail.
Another fail. How does your armor hold up this time, though?
Let's find out. Not well. That's a 2.
That's a 2. Okay, the other one, these two seem to be working in unison, whether it's like a pack of what rabid dogs, or whether they retain some kind of sense of tactical knowledge, which you seriously doubt from what you've seen of the others of them. This one comes in low as the other one came in high and slashes deep along the side of your knee and up the side of your thigh. It doesn't fill you with as much immediate revulsion as just having a blade punch through you, but you feel something in your knee isn't there anymore, and just that leg is giving out, and you're desperately trying to stay on your feet. That's 4 toughness.
Ooh. Okay.
So the one attacking Steo, but before it attacks Steo, it's engaging him, which means he gets a free attack.
Okay. Again, 20s or 1s.
Yep.
13.
Okay. Damage.
Damage is 6 + 1, which is 7.
Okay. Essentially, the thing charges for you. And I know you didn't want to do too much infantryman stuff now, but it feels like with these things, you brace the foot of the spear with with the side of your foot, lean it down. The thing has barely any thoughts to it, and it literally just impales itself on the spear. You kind of use its momentum to whip yourself around. It flies off. Let's say it tumbles, kind of staggering through the air, unaware of its own demise. And Serix Atio, almost as an afterthought, brings his great blade round and carves it in two, because he thought it was charging at him. And then kind of puzzled, kind of looks at the ground, looks up at you, shrugs, and turns around to carry on flailing at the others surround. He's surrounded by, like 7 or 8 of them, and is just keeping them back with huge swings of a sword you're all fairly sure you would struggle to lift above your head, let alone fling around the way he is doing. We've got 2 of them coming at Anton. So, Anton, can you give me a defense roll at a -1, please?
Oh, that's a 20. That's a 20.
That's a 20.
That's a big 20.
Fumble defense. It's just going to mean the damage received is increased. So why don't you give me an armor roll, please?
And it's just the 1d4, and it's a 2.
Okay. So what is your... First off, how much toughness do you have?
I've got 6 points left. My pain threshold is 4.
Doesn't matter what your pain threshold is, friend. The first clan beast coming towards you, is going to kind of you ready yourself for its impact. You see one of its fellows go down with arrows, and you kind of ready yourself for the charge. You hold your flail forward to try and bar it, but it literally leaps over the top of your flail, and its bone blades slide themselves like on either side of your ribs through your shoulders. Before you feel the pain, you feel yourself tumbling backwards to the ground as it drives you, and kind of you feel the blades go through your shoulders and into the ground beneath before it pulls out, and kind of it starts to dash off towards attacking someone else. And as it does so, kind of the clawed feet that it has just kind of like press your face into the ground and lift off, leaving you dazed and battered and bleeding horribly on the floor. You are down. So, yes, that's fun. Can you add an NPCs section onto the end of the initiative, please, John? Thank you. So that's action. I'm going to say that the other one attacking you is going to I don't think it'll get an attack in, but it's going to reorient itself and attack one of your fellows. So let's move them to Elindra, because why not, eh? Why not? Everything on Elindra.
Yay.
Who
Yay.
you respect for multiple target crowd control, Stephen?
Yeah. So there we go. It kind of surprised me it's taken this long to have someone down in this sequence of combats, and yet here we are. Obviously the holy aura ain't kicking in this round, but there we go. Steo, you are free, my friend. You are free to do what you want.
Obviously, I've noticed Anton keeled over and in a bad way. So, with a cry of absolute vitriol, I will charge towards the nearest beast that is even close to him.
That will be the one that's kind of got him down, and it wheels round and certainly will engage with you. But you get that free attack on it first with your long weapon, right? So let's do that. And while we're doing this, John, can you have a quick look? Because I don't think I have in my notes how one gets someone up from being down and doing death tests and stuff. You've got it. Wonderful. Thank you. If you pop that in chat for me. Okay.
Hit.
Mm-hmm. And how much damage do you do?
Damage is that's awful. A grand total of 3.
Okay. It has no armor though, so maybe it's how emotional you are feeling at the sight of one of your companions of this past year kind of bleeding out on the ground beneath you. But you do not get a good strike in, but you manage to puncture the creature somewhere along its leg. You're not even sure, as you charge forward and kind of thrust in. But then you have another attack, because that was your free attack, right? So Go ahead and...
At 18.
I normally wait to narrate after both attacks happen. I probably should have waited, but there we go.
But that's okay. 18 on the roll, so it was a hit, and a D10 5. Better than bad, but not great.
It's exactly what you need. You thrust into its leg, and as it stumbles around, you spin your spear, strike it once in the forehead, and while it's dazed, spin it and thrust the spear into its eye socket, and it collapses backwards, narrowly missing Anton lying on the ground. But in any case, swift revenge has been achieved. Yes. So we come to Anton. So let's talk about this. When a character reaches 0 toughness, they collapse and are considered to be dying. At that point, they cannot help themselves in any way. Each turn thereafter, the player is forced to make a death test with 1d20 on the character's initiative. This test is repeated until someone else either stabilizes the dying character with a herbal cure, the medicus ability, or mystical healing, or until the player rolls a 1 and wakes up, or a 20 and dies. Okay, so there is an optional rule, which is that you can't spend XP to reroll death tests. I don't want to do that because that seems like super harsh. But what I would like to do is institute that you can't use more than 1 XP to reroll. Yeah, we don't have the instant death rules anyway. I mean, the instant death rule is just the instant death rule is if you take a hit that's more than your pain threshold as the hit that takes you over toughness, and that's an instant kill.
Yeah.
You also die after 3 rolls of 11 to 19. So with that in mind, Anton, do you want to give us a death test?
Not really, no. I mean, I've already rolled 2 20s in this session, so it can't happen a third time.
It can't
right?
happen a third time.
It's just basic maths. Okay, rolling now. 8.
Okay. Well, that's just no effect. So, Anton, you are on the ground. It's up to you how you're handling this, whether you're kind of crying out in pain or for help, or kind of like just beyond words at this point. It's why don't you tell us how you think, or maybe just passed out?
Yeah, I think probably passed out and having some pretty fevered dreams or like fevered thoughts. Yeah, that's how I think it's going.
That sounds appropriate. So the reason I added the NPCs is because as part of the contingent being sent to deal with this, those 2, I think I mentioned the novices of the Sun Temple, are dashing around trying to help local, like the residents to flee. One of them sees Anton collapsing, kind of being pinned to the ground, and dashes over. Anton, let's just say they have the same cunning as you, right? So can you just give me a cunning test and see whether they Oh,
I rolled 1.
Beautiful.
Nice.
You know what then? And this is just my judgment. Why don't you roll a D6? The 1 means they used a herbal cure. So why don't you roll a D6 for toughness recovered?
6. That's gone remarkably well.
It really has. You emerge out of that fevered dream to find a novice you don't really recognize knelt over you, sort of plugging your wounds. You hear her saying, kind of, you can hear the sounds of battle, and her voice seems to kind of float across that noise and be kind of barely audible. But she's saying, "Father, it's all right. It looks like a clean puncture. I'm going to try and do what I can, but do you want me to drag you to safety, or are you getting up to join your fellows again?"
I think that with the shock of everything that's just happened, I think that Anton just wordlessly kind of like collapses back down, like
Sure.
and just, you know, not like his health, like his hit points are obviously like within like a manageable level now, but like just like he's basically half died, right, and then come back to life. So I think that just like psychologically that's just broken him a little bit. You
feel yourself slightly drifting off again. You feel kind of youthful, if not terribly powerful arms kind of hooking under your kind of armpits, and you feel yourself kind of being dragged back through the dirt and the dust and the blood somewhere, but you're not really aware of where right at this point in time. So let's go back round to the beginning again. Let's go back round to Askarai. So now all there are 3 clan beasts all piling on Alindra. Obviously, this isn't the only thing happening. Serax is still fighting a bunch of them. The town guard who dashed with you and the like are still fighting as well. Yeah.
I'm going to shoot at one of the ones fighting Alindra.
Absolutely. And I think, have any of them... so there are the 2 original ones and one that looks quite battered that dashed over from Anton. And that one definitely looks like the worst for wear.
I'll shoot that one, especially since it was involved with poor Anton.
Absolutely.
I rolled a 2 on my attack and a 4 total on my damage.
So Alindra, you're barely kind of because you're under assault, it's fair to say, and you're barely kind of cognizant of anything happening around the ones. You see one kind of roaring towards you from the direction that the priest was standing, and it kind of comes towards you, kind of howling and gurgling, and then you just register it, kind of like you hear a and you register it kind of staggering to one side and collapsing on the ground before it can get near you.
Nice.
So that's 1 kill. You can use your second attack on another target, right?
Yeah, I will do that. I'll go for probably whichever one is near it on my side.
Sure.
I guess
I'll just do a random one because I don't think there's any way to differentiate them. So
yeah, got a 4 on my attack roll and a 9 total on my damage.
And moments after that happens, one of the clan beasts facing you, an arrow slams into their temple, and they this one just kind of, just literally vertically drops, collapses, instantly dead from the impact into whatever remains of its brain. Okay. Elindra. Askarai's ridiculous. It's great. So, Elindra, you're just facing one clan beast now.
I am. As my free action, I would just kind of like to shout over to Askarai, "Oh, you are good!" And we'll see if I can be comparably good. Let's attack this guy. That's an 8, so that's a success.
Yep.
Damage is 14.
There we go. It's the extra dice, isn't it? That's where it all is. That's where all the damage really sits in this game. Buoyed by the fact that the others have just like scattered to the ground around you. You wait for it to come at you and take a measured stance and thrust at just the right moment. Pierce it through the heart as it comes sort of scampering at you. And it's, again, you feel it die on the end of your blade. Seconds before it even slides off the end of it, it's instantly dead. And as you do this, there is another round of howling and crying from the building kind of to the side of you. I imagine for some of you, it's now behind you as you've like moved around with the combat. But from the cellar where the others poured comes one more wave of them. The clan beasts have been released, and now the warriors and the guardians are emerging and dashing towards all of you through the dust and the blood and the mass of town guards fighting off clan beasts are 2 beast clan warriors and a beast clan guardian, and a new enemy emerges as well. These are the beast clan mystics. And with these more familiar ones staggering through the dust, the beast clan mystic, a hunched over, somewhat wizened figure looking fairly human all told, coated in rags, and the hood of what remains of their robe is mounted with 2 large kind of curled kind of mountain goat or ram's horns that almost shroud its face in darkness where the hood already wasn't doing so. Calling it human seems a stretch, but it is malnourished and covered in what look like intentional, self-inflicted, ritualized wounds. It is pretty messed up, but also clearly a mystic of whatever these creatures and former barbarians are. And we're going to have a roll for engagement. I think they've got to spend a double movement to get to you guys, so they're not going to get an attack this turn, but they are going to engage you, if that makes sense, which Steer will be happy about. So as I say, we've got 2 Beast Clan Warriors, a Beast Clan Guardian, and a Beast Clan Mystic. So if John can pop those on the initiative order, that would be good. And I will roll to see who we gauge. And I'm not going to count Anton because Anton's been dragged away. On his turn, he can still get up and do some stuff if he wants. But here we are. So let's roll for the Beast Clan Warriors. The Beast Clan Mystic isn't going to engage anyone. It's not a melee fighter, so that's not going to happen. The Beast Clan Warriors, though, one of them is charging towards Askarai. One of them is charging towards Askarai. And the Beast Clan Guardian is charging towards Askarai.
Oh, good.
So this may turn into a bit of a general melee here, I imagine. Let me just get the new foes up on this. So I just need to note down some toughness and the like. And Beast Clan Mystic there. Yes. So. Yes. So let's say Ascarai, as you were firing the arrows, you were kind of moving around to get a better shot on the ones assaulting Alindra, and you actually found yourself in a fairly open area, but kind of ahead of the others, between the others and the cellar and the house, and that's why they're kind of charging forward towards you, and they are in engagement range of you now. But we have Steo and Anton to take around, so you might not get immediately carved down in the next one. So that's good. That's good. So Steo, you're next up for us because they're not going to get an action. They're just moving forwards. So
I assume I can make an engagement.
You can absolutely make an engagement. Would you want to engage one of the warriors or the guardian?
I suppose the guardian makes the most sense because I faced off against one of those before. It seems
to be pretty harsh, a powerful warrior. So yeah, I think it's a good choice. So you're flanking. So take a so that's a +2 on your strike.
And the strike is flat, memory serves.
Yeah. So it's a +2.
17 or less. 3.
There we go. And your damage, and don't forget the extra D4.
So, oh my good God. 1 + 1 is 2. +2 is 4. I resign.
Okay. You dash around behind it and try and strike it in the kind of in its back, but your spear glances off the rough hide that it's wearing over its back. Luckily for you, though, that was an engagement, so that was your free attack. So you get another one.
Yep, here we go again. 16, which is a hit.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 + 1 is 5, more respectable. +4 is 9.
9. Okay, that is indeed much more respectable. It's not its pain threshold, though. You'll be horrified to know. Your second thrust does a lot better and takes it below the shoulder blade. And it's being as it's its turn next. I'm not going to give it an attack on you or anything, because as I said, it's used up. But let's say at the very least it wheels round to face you, which means that it's not going to try and get a strike in on Ascarai. Next we've got Anton. So you've been dragged off a short way by this novice, but you're definitely kind of coming to now, and you can see what's happening ahead of you. You can see like Ascarai has been sort of swarmed a bit by a renewed wave from the cellar of the building. The novice is kind of like, still kind of checking your wounds and trying to kind of chewing some of the herbs that go in the poultice and kind of desperately trying to pack around the wound as much as possible. What are you going to do?
I'm going to get to my feet and cast Blessed Shield. I think I'm gonna go back in there. I think kind of filled with the vigor of the adrenaline rush, I suppose, now of having come back from this. So
I think that's pretty appropriate. So I mean, you're going to take a turn to get to your feet unless you take a quick roll to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll get to my feet, and I didn't make the Blessed Shield roll actually. So. Okay.
Well, first off, why don't you make the quick roll? Sorry, because that's that's what you need to do first.
And I think I don't make that actually. No,
okay, so you have to take the whole turn getting to your feet anyway. So you are back on your feet. There we go. And ready to go. I'd say your flail is probably between you and the fight now as well. I think you might have to pick that up on the way as well.
Okay,
that seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
So there we go. Let's go back around to being Ascarai. You are now engaged by 2 Beast Clan warriors.
Okay, I think I'm gonna drop the bow and try and dagger one of these.
Dagger one of them. Do it.
What is the modifier?
The modifier for them is a +3.
Okay, I need an 18 because I get advantage from my feint, and I rolled a 19, so I don't hit.
Okay then. And it also occurs to me we should have covered we should have done the acid blood for for Steo. So why don't you give me why don't you just give me a flat defense roll, please, Steo? Sorry. Acid blood from the Beastland Guardian, sorry.
Because it procs on me hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, flat defense, flat armor roll, not defense.
No, sorry, no. So you do need a defense roll first to avoid being hit by it in the first place. But once it's on you, you just make armor rolls. That is my understanding.
I failed my defense at a 15 out of 10.
So give me an armor roll, please.
The armor roll is an 8. That's respectable.
Yep, and again, you feel it spatter over your plate armor. It hisses
face.
away and scars it, but it's not breaking through. So that's good. But you'll need another two turns of rolls of armor to fend it off now. Ascarai strikes at the Beast Clan warriors attacking him with his dagger. Doesn't manage to hit or do any damage. Elindra, though, is free. Now, what you have ahead, Ascarai is beleaguered by 2 Beast Clan warriors, and Steo is facing off with a single Beast Clan Guardian. And there is also a Beast Clan Mystic lurking nearby with ill intent. Well, you can't see his eyes, but he definitely has ill intent in his eyes.
Is the Beast Clan Mystic within range for me to run up and attack it this turn?
Absolutely, he is, yeah.
The very fact that he seems reluctant to engage in melee combat is the exact reason to do so.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you can dash up an attack. His defense has no modifier, so go ahead and make just a flat roll.
That is a success.
And the damage on that?
5.
Okay, well, for a start, that's past his pain threshold. So do you want to knock him prone, or do you want to get an extra attack?
Prone means that he's going to spend a turn getting up, right?
Correct.
Let's do that.
Okay. You charge forward against the Beast Clan Mystic, which kind of whips round on you in a language you don't understand, starts kind of hissing half-form words that sound kind of partway between the braying of a goat and the muttering of a human. And as you run forward, you just strike out with the hand holding your blade, and the pommel of it smashes into the barbarian mystic's face, and it tumbles backwards onto the ground, kind of hissing and making very unpleasant noises at you, and sort of scrabbling desperately backwards to try and get away from this assailant. Yeah, good fun. And now it's the Beast Clan Mystic's turn, right? So I am not going to roll against its quick because I just don't like rolling. So I'm going to say it's just he's just going to spend the entire turn kind of clambering back to his feet in an attempt to sort of fend you off. And then we move to the Beast Clan warriors attacking Ascarai. So Ascarai, could you give me a defense roll, please, -5?
Okay, I'll need a 10 or less. We got a 2. Nice. And another one. I get another 2.
You weave around them, making good work of your lindworm cloak to deflect and distract them away from the swipes with their bone blades. So yeah, good stuff. Steo, let's shall we start off with your armor roll for your acid so we don't forget?
Yep. Coming right up. 10.
Yeah, this acid ain't getting through your plate. Well, not this turn anyway. So another strike at the Beast Clan Guardian, I would assume.
Yes, please. Once again, I am making 17 or less. That's a 19.
Okay. And how much damage do we do? Sorry, did you say that out loud?
Sorry, no, the 19 was my attack roll, which would not have passed.
Oh, would not have passed. Sorry.
Because he's like, I'm 17 or less.
Yeah, no problem. So don't you have a +1 for your spear?
Even with the +1, because I'm 15,
Mm-hmm.
16, 17, 18, 19. I did do it. Mathematics. Okay. The
Yeah,
damage.
because it's a strike at a. Oh, hang on, it's a flat. Oh, I'm confused now. Yeah, it's a flat strike, isn't it? So.
Oh no, yes. So it's +0 because I'm not flanking anymore. So it's 16 or less. I still goose it.
Yeah. So
no mathematics for you.
No. So yeah, you're wheeling around it and jabbing out and trying to find a gap in its defenses. This one is carrying like a huge metal studded double-handed kind of mace club thing. And as it wheels around on you, you see that the puncture wounds that you left in its side from your spear, they're starting to knit together slightly. This thing appears to have some form of kind of fast-acting regeneration happening with it. If you're curious, the other one would have as well. It's just it didn't get a turn before you just wrecked it. Yeah. And then onto its turn, and it is going to attack you. Can you give me a defense roll, please, at a -5?
5 or less. 16.
16. Okay, well, it ignores armor. So what's your pain threshold?
Pain threshold is 7.
Okay, that's fine. So as you kind of take note of the flesh knitting over itself, it gives a howl, spins that huge metal studded club around its head and swings for you, and you try and defend yourself with the haft of your spear, but it just basically batters your arms back against you, and the some of the metal sections of the club kind of smash into your face and knock you one side. You feel your nose break again. And some of the bones in your cheek crack, and your eyes filled with blood. Take 6 toughness, please.
Back to where I was at the beginning of the session.
Yeah, Anton, you are back on your feet, and you are dashing forward. And you know what? If you want to charge in and engage someone in combat, I will let you do that this turn if you make a quick roll to pick up your flail on the way.
I mean, that's a big ask, but I will try. No, I don't make it. My quick is 7, and I rolled 15.
Okay, in that case, you can dash forward and pick up your flail if you want. If that's a thing you'd like to do.
I would like to do that, but I also want to cast Blessed Shield because I am vulnerable.
Well, those are 3 actions. So,
yeah, exactly. Who is nearest?
No one is engaging you right now at all.
Yeah. I think I just want to try and cast Blessed Shield because I think that if I just go into combat, I'm just going to get beat.
And you at least want to move over. You can also move forward to where your flail is, if that's.
Yeah. Let's try and cast this, and I don't make it. I rolled 15.
Okay. So you just stagger forward from where you are. The novice behind you goes, "Father, where are you going?" And you kind of stagger forward to where your flail is, and you're just kind of like reeling on your feet, kind of taking in everything around you, seeing Steo's face kind of crunching against the huge mace club thing that the Guardian is carrying. And then we will roll back round to the beginning of our turn again. So, Askarai, take it you're going to try and knife one of these guys again.
Yeah, hopefully a little bit better luck than last time. I think I needed 18 or less. I rolled another 19. What is happening?
The standoff continues with these Beast Clan warriors. They manage to deflect away from your knife blows. You are definitely left with a sensibility. The clan beasts are just ravening animals. Whatever has been done to them has destroyed all sense of intelligence. But the Beast Clan warriors seem mostly human, at least in terms of their intelligence. And the Guardians seem a step above that. And who knows what the Mystics are. The Mystics don't look warped by any kind of flesh crafting at all. They just look maltreated by their own devices. So Yeah, I mean, that's what you're doing with your movement action, but I'm assuming you're not trying to disengage and getting a couple of free attacks on you.
No, I don't think so. I'll stay put.
Okay. Elindra, I'm assuming we're trying to finish off this Beast Clan Mystic.
Yeah, let's get it done.
Okay, so that is just a flat attack roll.
That's a success.
And the damage?
5.
Exactly enough.
Yeah.
It scrambles to its feet and it kind of holds out one kind of wizened, scarred hand at you and starts to gesture with some horrific, mystical, sorcerous movement of its hand. But you are trained not to fear the mystic, nor the wizard, nor the sorcerer, but instead deliver unto them the justice of Prios. And that is exactly what you do. A huge overhead swipe, you carve it nearly in two, and the mystic falls kind of wretchedly bubbling from a ruined throat to the ground. Yep. No magic for them.
Nice.
So you can go ahead and strip the Beast Clan Mystic off, John. The Beast Clan Warriors, on the other hand, Askarai, you owe us 2 defenses at -5, please.
All right. I'm rolling against 10s. I rolled a 12 on my first one, which doesn't make it, and a 2 on my second one, which does make it.
Okay, then give me an armor roll, please.
Okay, that is 2d4. I got a 5.
Okay. In that case, you do the same trick with your Lindworm Cloak, deflecting off strikes from the Beast Clan Warriors and their horrific bone blades. One of them manages to get a lucky carve on your hand, kind of let's say between your thumb and your palm. In that webbing is kind of carved open, and you feel like the blood running out over your palm and between your fingers. It's not a terrible wound, though. That's just 1 toughness.
Why would you pick them, Matt? God.
It sounded nasty, but not fatal. I know my business. Stio, I'm assuming we're having a strike at this Beast Clan Guardian.
Yes, please, goodness, yes. So once again, it is flat against 15.
Correct.
12!
Okay, so what is that damage then?
3 + 1 is 4.
4. In that case, the tip of your spear becomes tangled in the rough hide the Guardian is wearing again, and with a beastly grin, it shrugs away your spear and readies to strike at you.
Acid.
Oh yes, acid. Your final load of acid. Just give me an armor roll, please.
6.
Yep, your plate is holding firm against it. And there's definitely no refreshing of it this round, huh? So... the Beast Clan Guardian strikes out at you. It's a defense roll. It's a -5, please.
It's...
Which is a fail, I assume?
Yeah.
What's your toughness on?
My toughness is 7.
Well, then you are still on your feet. You're still reeling from the last blow it dealt you, and it draws back for another strike. And this time goes below your spear. It impacts into your side, and you feel the crunch of ribs and the twist of spine in your back. And you're left staggering, feeling like another blow would finish you off. Take another 6 toughness, please. The plate has just like crumpled in on your side. Let's say it's on the same place the other guy tried to gash you open as well. So it's, wound on wound on wound. Anton.
Yeah. I really want to, seeing what's happened to Steve, I really want to cast my Holy Aura, but I suspect that's going to just heal the guys that we're fighting as well, which seems like a terrible idea.
I think instinctively you know that these creatures that remain are human enough to perhaps not be destroyed by the pure light of Prios. It would still heal.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna just recklessly kind of pick up my flail and then go over to where Stio is, knowing that he would do the same to me. Yeah.
Yeah. You obviously you can't strike this turn because picking up is one action and charging is the other. But you are now engaged with the Beast Clan Guardian. Stio, you can see because you were the one who noticed the Anton going down, I think, and you can see the priest kind of charging in behind the Beast Clan Guardian now, kind of attempting to come to your rescue, still bleeding copiously from the wounds in his shoulders. And we're back round to the beginning. Ascarai, in the name of God, hit one of them.
I can't even believe how many 19s I've rolled today. Like, most of them have hit because I needed 20s.
Yeah.
I rolled like a... Anyway, I'm going to try again with the dagger. I rolled a 6. Thank God.
There we go. So roll that damage, please.
Still not going to be loads of damage, but okay, 7 damage total.
Okay, well, that is better than nothing. One of them this time falls for your bait and switch with your cloak, and you manage to puncture into their side with your dagger. You don't think you've done a copious amount of damage, but yeah, you know. John makes a good point. The Holy Aura might heal them.
Yeah.
Because I think it just heals everything living that isn't an abomination or undead.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm just here to talk about, like, it might be a hole in translation, but the adept level says it, like, living creatures heal 1d4, and then the mastery level specifies that allies heal 1d6.
Okay, but I don't think that's a mistranslation. I think that's how it's improved.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Just thought it was
yeah. Thank you, John. So yeah, you have managed to wound one of them slightly, Ascarai. Well done, you. Elindra, you are free.
I am thinking that this Beast Clan Guardian is facing off against 2 quite nearly dead people, and I wonder if I can catch it in the back while it's doing that.
Yeah, you may not have seen Ascarai kind of fight hand to hand before, but he certainly seems adept, kind of weaving around with a dagger and his cloak. And none of the Beast Clan warriors seem to be able to touch him terribly much.
The snap judgment is that Ascarai's got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
The help is needed.
I think so, and the others are horribly battered and wrecked. Yeah, you can charge in and get a flank on it if you want. Then,
fantastic.
So why don't you give me a attack at a +2, please?
Yep. Yep, that's a success.
Okay, can you add a D4 to whatever you already roll for damage with the Revenant Strike?
Sure. 7 in total.
Oh,
that's appalling.
That's 1s on both the D4s.
That's rough. So yeah, you dash into the thing and you kind of carve into this towering mutated human side with your blade, but you don't get very far. Whatever horrible rough rotting hide it's wearing, it clearly came from a creature of no small toughness, and you leave a wound on it, but definitely not one as big as you would like. Beast Clan warriors, Ascarai, please roll 2 defense rolls.
All right, I've done well so far. Okay, a 7, that makes it. And a 17, which doesn't make it.
Okay, give me an armor roll then, please.
Okay, 2d4 again, and I get 2. Oof.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same one that caught you the last time, but this time it manages to strike its bone blade, and it partially just kind of impacts through. What can I do to make Chris wince again? It gouges a great hole out of the crook of your elbow, and you feel just you hear part of you splat as it strikes the dusty paved ground underneath you. Take 4 toughness, please. That's not over your pain threshold, is it?
No, thanks to the errata. It's
oh, your pain threshold is 4. Okay, yeah. Sure. Steo, in the name of God, let's finish this Beast Clan Guardian, folks.
One last roll around the houses for old Steo. Again, 16 or under. 7.
Okay.
The D10 is 9 plus 1, which is 10.
The Beastclan Guardian roars at the top of his voice, which at its very peak breaks into a similar goat-like braying that the Mystic was chanting in. And as it kind of wheels round to swing that huge mace at Elindra, and as it does so, you see your opportunity to strike. You step to the side, you thrust, and the point of your spear takes it under the side of its chin through, and you feel the pop resonate down the haft of the spear as the top of its skull cracks open under the piercing bronze of your spear. Beastclan Guardian dead. Let's remove that, please, John. Anton, you got here, and now there's nothing to do. But you can run and engage one. You can run and get a flank strike on one of the Beastclan warriors fighting Askarai if you like.
Yeah, I'll try and do that.
Okay. One of them is slightly wounded and one of them is hale and hearty. Which one are you going for?
I'm going to go for the slightly wounded guy. Sorry, Askarai.
No, go for it. That is an attack at a +3, please.
Oh, I make it. The +3 made a difference.
And it actually should have been a +5, sorry, because of the flanking. I forgot to account for that. So, and speaking of the flanking, add a d4 to your damage.
Get hunger wolfed.
6 in total. Not
Okay,
great.
that's
Still nice.
It still does something. Your flail cracks along the side of its neck, and it gives out actually shouts some kind of curse in the barbarian tongue, one you're not familiar with, but it's definitely using some kind of barbarian tongue, and it spins round to face you. So let's say that one is now facing you, although people have plenty of chance to attack. Okay. Back to the beginning, and let's make this the last round, folks. How about that? How about we finish them off?
Tell it to the dice, Matt. Tell it to the dice.
So Askarai, you only have one Beastclan warrior facing you now. I'm assuming you're gonna try and knife it.
I will indeed try to knife it. Please no 19s. Okay, I roll a 7, and for damage, I roll a 7.
Okay. You managed to get under its guard and plunge your knife into its thigh. Obviously not a mortal wound, but it's definitely limping and looking slightly wounded now. Elindra, there's one now facing Anton and one of them facing Askarai.
I think it's probably time to help Askarai a bit, isn't it?
Could be. Could be.
Yeah, let's flank the one that Askarai is facing.
Okay, then give me an attack at +5, I think, because they're normally +3, right? Yeah, they are. So
Success.
And then an extra d4 for damage.
Let's have a look. 13.
Yeah.
Nice.
Askarai, you feel pretty good about yourself after having plunged the knife into its thigh, and you kind of back off and whip your lindworm cloak kind of back across you in an attempt to flick it out for the inevitable counterattack that it makes. 1 second. Come on, Cam, you can do it. There we go. And as you do so, there is a meaty slice of a sound, and the top of the Beastclan warrior's head is cleaved off by the swing of a darkly flaming blade, and you see confusion in its eyes for a couple of seconds before it collapses to the ground dead in front of you. Yes. So this Beastclan warrior is getting its last chance at stabbing someone up, and that someone is going to be Anton. Anton, give me a defense roll at a -5, please.
Of all the people.
It's been combat, hasn't it, folks? It's been a combat.
No, do not make.
Then give me that armor roll, please. And I don't think you managed the blessed
1
shield.
for the armor.
Oh my god.
What's your pain threshold?
I know, I didn't manage to. 4.
Sorry, what your pain threshold's 4. Okay. And how much toughness have you got? You got 6 again now, right? Okay, knock that down to 1.
Yeah.
and essentially it's just going to knock you prone. I think it's not going to go for another attack. It strikes you and pierces your side in a similar fashion to the other did. It's just too much. It's too much for you to take, and you collapse back onto the ground, kind of like your flail weakly held over you. Too much. Too many attackers, too many assailants today, too much bloodshed. You drop weakly to the ground. Steo, flanking this bad boy.
Yeah, but running across, lopping moments from death, in no fit state to be doing anything. I will charge across, make my final blaze of glory, and have at this one.
Absolutely. Here. Well, that's an attack at a +5.
Okay. So. I succeed on a roll 4.
Cool.
And the damage
and it's an extra D4 on the damage, don't forget.
9 in total.
9 in total. So that is that's reduced by that, which makes that. Let me just check its pain threshold a second. No, nowhere near, I'm afraid. Anton, you are knocked prone. Do you want to what do you want to do? Do you want to try and get up, or do you want to try and scrabble away from this thing? I mean,
maybe scrabble away. Like after the rush of adrenaline Anton had, he's now thinking that piling back into this melee maybe wasn't a smart idea. So yeah, I think he'll probably try and retreat.
Sure. And I think this thing has just been struck by Steo, so it's turned and had its attention on that. So I'm not going to charge you, put a free attack on you or anything. And you're kind of like weakly trying to scrabble away in this. You can kind of hear how the rest of it is going. You can hear guardsmen shouting, "Charge! They're faltering! Charge!" And you just hear this mindless as Serexatio is kind of wheeling around, carving limbs, heads. Any appendage his blade can find from the retreating beast clan as you scrabble away. Ascarai, the only reason I know I sometimes wrap up combats with the go, there's only one left, we can just pile on it or whatever. I want to see who gets the last hit in here. I think that's something worth boasting about. Ascarai, you have your bow, you can unsling that bow, so you only get one shot because you're switching. I'm assuming you're firing at this thing with a +3.
Yep, sounds good. I'll try.
Don't roll a 19.
Please. I rolled a 19.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Amazing. All right, Alindra.
For God's sake.
You can get a flank shot on this, right? So this is an attack at a +5.
Lovely.
Still roll 20.
I didn't. That was a 15, and so the damage is going to be 11.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's fine. So Steo, you've got this thing's attention, and it's wheeling on you now. Bone blades slice in the air in front of you, looking to do to you what it did to Anton. And as it charges towards you, you kind of hear the clank and rustle of plated mail slamming the ground near you, and with one carving strike and cry, Alindra carves the thing through the waist, and you're left kind of standing. The melee is over, sort of ankle deep in entrails and gore of the creature as it collapsed in front of you. You can all hear the great huffing pants of Serexatio standing about 20 feet away from you, kind of gulping the air back into his lungs desperately, as the town guard kind of basically have driven the clan beasts back into the building and back down into the cellar. And as you watch, one of them nearby grabs a barrel of pitch, flings it towards the kind of collapsed cellar door, and someone else lights sparks nearby it, and the whole building goes up in flames, and you can hear the howls of the remaining Beast Clan warriors beneath, trapped between presumably some kind of pit into the earth and roaring flames above. The situation is handled.
Propping myself on my spear and gasping for breath myself, I will exclaim, things are bad when they set a fire in Thistlehold on purpose.
as you're standing there, kind of Dirac sort of staggers from back from where the sinkhole is, looking around, shouting orders, bellowing. He looks over at you. I'm assuming someone is going to be helping Anton up.
I'll go help Anton.
He glances over at you and says, "Fucking hell. Is that all of them?
If there's any more, I quit."
Come back to the barricade. There's lots of robes there. Healers. His people." He gestures at Anton.
Anton, are you still with us?
I am. Everything went cold, and then he brought me back, and I think at this point I'll just start to sob.
Yeah, no more like that, gentlemen, please. And lady, let's go.
So you're kind of half carried, half stagger back to the barricades. It's even bigger than it was before. Lots of wagons circled around it. Furniture and lumber piled up around it. To one side of the sinkhole, near where you first came in, you see that a cart has been pulled up, and on top of it stands Lassifor Nightpitch, mayor of Thistlehold, flanked by his personal guard. Captain Marvello stood nearby. Next to him is a figure maybe some of you don't recognize, but Anton, you certainly do. Well, first off, John, let's have the image of Lassifor Nightpitch up, shall we? Because for sure, Stephen hasn't seen Nightpitch before, and lots of our viewers probably haven't as well. So the group has met him before and had some interaction with him during the Mark of the Beast. But there he is, clearly a seasoned, older man now, kind of like retired from his fortune hunting days and slid into a unexpected powerful political capacity as the founder of Thistlehold. He's directing people and kind of turning and giving comments to Marvello, and next to him is another individual in the bright yellow robes of a senior member of the Sun Temple. It is an individual known certainly to Anton and maybe to others of you. I'll leave it up to you whether you know. The people who've been here a long time are more likely to know him. This is Father Elfino, the first Theurg of the Sun Temple of Thistlehold. So yeah, everything Prios related in Thistlehold is done according to his design, at least when he gets his way. And he is looking around him sternly and occasionally giving orders to novices and theurgs who are busying themselves around healing people and doing various things. I think it's safe to say anyone who's injured, you can have like a small swarm of novices and theurgs, and maybe even some kind of apprentices of the Ordo Magica are wandering around attempting to tend to people as well. Anyone injured can roll a d6, because let's assume that, elixirs are being used and the like, can roll a d6 and increase their toughness by that much. So hopefully that helps people a fair bit. Chris has a look on his face of a man who just rolled a 1.
I rolled. I've now got a grand total of 4 toughness. So,
okay. I thought you just, if you rolled a 1, hey, you've doubled your toughness. Don't complain.
Yeah.
Anton, how are you looking and feeling?
I healed 4 there, so I've got 4 points. Yeah, sorry.
Again.
Yeah, I've got 5 points remaining.
Yeah. So the mayor turns round and he kind of opens his mouth and looks to be kind of about to give some kind of speech. And as he does so, a sudden worrying sound is heard from the sinkhole, a rustling, shuffling sound as if a giant serpent was moving around down in the dark. The sound grows stronger, and the tension in the air is palpable as everyone goes quiet and sort of with wide eyes examines the depths of the sinkhole. The sound comes again, but diminished as if the source has moved on away from the sinkhole deeper down into the abyss. Suddenly, a warrior steps out into the dim light that reaches the top of the rubble hill at the bottom of the hole. Her visage is dominated by predatory jaws, and the skin on her naked forearms seems grey, cracked, and leathery, as if unnaturally thick and rough. She stares with black eyes towards the defenders on the surface before letting out a hateful falsetto howl and diving down into the dark on widespread bat-like wings. Then all goes silent, and this time the silence continues. I think we'll leave the session there. So basically, that was the large part, the main part of Act 1 of Wrath of the Warden. So we can breathe and we can stop doing sessions that are mostly combat.
I think that was the session that was. I mean, that was more than mostly combat, right? That was almost.
That was pretty much all combat. Yeah, we didn't have much other than combat in that one. I think it's a hell of a bold choice to start their campaign with such a huge battle. And I think it runs the risk of getting, repetitive, but at the same time, impactful, right? And memorable as well. For how it is. And it's interesting. I wonder if this has given Stephen maybe a slightly disjointed view of how Symbaroum is going to be, because let me tell you, there usually is not that much combat. So there we go. Thank you for watching, folks. If you've got any comments or questions in the chat, please post them and John will pop them up for us to talk about. In the meantime, I'll pop a little promo your way. Down below, there's some links. There are links to YouTube and to Twitch. If you're watching on one, please do check out the other. Give us a subscribe or a follow or whatever. It really helps us along. Speaking of which, we've had a few today, as well as the follower I already mentioned. We've also had follows today from London Euphoria and Electro Druid. I know who Electro Druid is. I know who that is. But thank you. There are also links to our social media. There are links to our Discord where you can join up and talk to us about all things telling tales and role-playing. We have some nice ongoing discussions there. We chat about Kickstarters a lot. And by that, I mean we tempt people into Kickstarters quite a lot through mutual role-playing lust. There's also a link to our Patreon if you want to support us there and get some goodies like character creation videos, GM notes. There's a Patreon-only section of our Discord. You could even spend big and have me run a game for you if you want to.
Subscribe to Patreon today to get access to a section of our Discord, which is entirely June puns as of
it is
about
June
midday
puns,
today.
Mostly, yeah, it is that.
Yeah.
So, there's those things. We run three weekly series here on Twitch. Mondays is Call of Cthulhu, Tuesdays is Blades in the Dark, and Wednesdays, of course, Symbaroum. All of them start at 8:00 p.m. BST. We also do monthly one-shots. The VODs for those are over on our YouTube, and the next one is on Saturday, the 11th of September, which will be Dungeon World, which is the first one that Pierre is going to run for us. So that's exciting times, and I believe we have Chris. You're in that, right? You're going to play in that? Yeah.
I need to get my head around these weird GM-less systems and see how it goes. I don't think it's GM-less.
It's kind of GM. Yeah, it's collaborative, but there is a GM in Dungeon World as far as I'm aware. Because, Chris needs to get used to that because there's another one-shot coming up later this year that Chris is doing that is GM-less. So yet to be revealed, but we'll let you know that closer to the time.
Unless you're a Patreon, in which case.
Unless you're a patron on our Discord, in which case you already know. So there you go. John, what have you got for us? And while you pop it up, I will also say we've just broken 10k views, which I'm assuming is on Twitch rather than YouTube. So thank you, folks. Oh yeah, lots. No, you get paid if you break 10k views in one night. Not if you do it over the course of a year. Have we got any comments to pop up, chat? Steve, hi. If you don't like combat, turn up on Mondays for Call of Cthulhu. It's mostly just talking. Sure. Yeah, just drive them away from my. No, please do watch Call of Cthulhu. It's great. We got anything else, John? Is that the lot? That's the lot. That's the lot tonight. Yeah, I'm surprised people are still watching. I'm just driven off out of combat fatigue. Combat fatigue. Is Sam sure he's not rolling a D1 plus 18?
It felt like it. I honestly imagine if those were ones. People would have thought I was completely cheating if those were all ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still think you were. I just think you were trying to, garner sympathy.
The mythologies we have around how random numbers work must drive anyone who knows anything about mathematics completely spare.
Sure, absolutely. Reverse cheating, says John. Absolutely. Cool. Well, thank you for watching, folks. I can assure you that Wrath of the Warden gets a lot more talky and roleplay from here on in. But hopefully that's been an impactful 3 sessions. Hopefully it wasn't too much combat for you, and it was at least narrated and dramatic and tense enough that it kept you going. And we'll see you next week for more Symbaroum. Thank you to John, our wonderful stream manager. Thank you to everyone watching, and thank you to my excellent players as well. Take care out there and stay safe, friends. Bye-bye.